I think a record audience assembled here. Probably the biggest room that's probably ever been assembled online.
Hello and welcome to What the F*** Just Happened Today, your essential guide to the daily shock and awe in national politics. I'm Joe Amditis. Let's get to it. It's Wednesday, May 24th, 2023. Welcome to day 855. Target pulled some of its LGBTQ-themed merchandise after receiving threats impacting our team members' sense of safety and well-being while at work. Target said conservative activists have knocked down pride displays, approached workers, and posted threatening videos on social media from inside its stores over its tuck-friendly women's swimsuits, which allow trans women who have not had gender-reaffirming surgeries to conceal their genitalia. The so-called customers have falsely claimed that Target is selling the tuck-friendly swimsuits to children, even though the swimsuits, however, are only offered in adult sizes. The decision to remove items that have been at the center of the most significant confrontational behavior comes 1 week before Pride Month officially kicks off on June 1st. Meanwhile, the South Carolina Senate passed a ban on abortion after just 6 weeks of pregnancy. The legislation bans most abortions after early cardiac activity can be detected in a fetus or embryo, and it now heads to Republican Governor Henry McMaster's desk, who has said that he will sign it. A physician who knowingly violates the new law would have their license revoked and could face felony charges as well as fines and possible jail time. At least 25 states have now restricted abortion access since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. Meanwhile, a Florida elementary school restricted access to the poem that was recited at Biden's 2020 presidential inauguration ceremony after a parent complaint and school review. Amanda Gorman, the youngest inaugural poet in U.S. history, said she was gutted that her poem, The Hill We Climb, was moved to the library's middle school section, which is only for grades 6 through 8. A review committee at a Miami-Dade K-8 public school, however, determined that the poem and 3 other titles, The ABCs of Black History, Cuban Kids, and Love to Langston, were better suited for middle school students, after one parent complained that the titles included inappropriate topics and were meant to cause confusion and indoctrinate students. Gorman said The Hill We Climb was inspired by the January 6th insurrection so that all young people could see themselves in a historical moment. Miami-Dade County Public Schools is the nation's 4th largest school district by enrollment. Moving on, House Republicans plan to vote on a measure that would block Biden's student loan forgiveness program, which would cancel up to $20,000 in federal student debt for millions of low- and middle-income borrowers. The resolution would also end a pandemic-era pause on loan payments. Biden has pledged to veto the resolution if it passes in both the House and the Senate, saying that it would weaken America's middle class because the cost of higher education has become a lifelong burden on low- and middle-income Americans. The student debt relief program is currently on hold because of 2 challenges being considered by the Supreme Court, which is expected to issue its rulings in late June or early July. And finally, Kevin McCarthy suggested that negotiations over raising the debt limit were progressing, but the two sides still remain far apart. At the same time, McCarthy renewed his demand for Biden and the Democrats to accept spending cuts in exchange for increasing the limit, claiming it's not my fault that an unprecedented federal default is only 8 days away. The White House called the standoff a manufactured crisis by Republicans pushing extreme proposals that would hurt every single part of the country, whether you're in a red state or a blue state. Democrats so far have reportedly agreed to freeze spending at current levels, but Republicans have insisted on roughly $131 billion in spending cuts, while also seeking an increase in military spending. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has warned that the U.S. could run out of money to pay its bills as early as June 1st. House Democrats, meanwhile, have all 213 of their members signed onto a discharge petition which would bypass McCarthy and force a vote to raise the debt ceiling. Democrats still need at least 5 Republicans in order for it to pass, but so far, none have agreed to support it. That's all for now. You can find the links and sources for all of these stories on the main website. And as always, visit whatthefjusthappenedtoday.com for the latest news and headlines. Until next time, I'm Joe Amditis.